Thank you, Nancy.
You got to get up on the podium or everybody can see you.
There, now I'm told. Okay, thank you, Nancy, and thank you to the Kopp family for the many years of sharing Rudy. It's truly been a pleasure to have known him. What can I say about the man, the myth, the legend, Rudy Kopp? It's all been said. Rudy was a big part of U.S. Atoa for over 40 years. He was involved with tug of war for over 70. He was a puller, an officer, a coach, and an announcer. He excelled in each of these positions. Rudy was known for his common sense and fairness. He knew the athletes, and they all knew him. 4 years ago, U.S. Atoa created a scholarship in his name to encourage membership to further their education. Knowledge was key to Rudy, and he was very pleased that we started this program, and we were proud to show him how much we respected him. For our association, this is an end of an era, a loss of a valuable resource and friend. He was always interested in the state of the association. He always wanted to know our finances, how the teams around the world were doing, his friends around the world, and of course, the U.S. Atoa members. Each spring, he and I would have a conversation about him announcing the tournaments for the next summer, and if we still wanted him to announce at these tournaments. And my answer was always the same: I'll tell you when you're done. This was very important to Rudy because he worried about the job he did for us. To him, he wanted to keep things rolling, be accurate in his announcing, and to keep the audience engaged. His booming voice, knowledge of the sport, and wit was known to many. Last year, on a warm spring day, Rudy stopped over and we sat on our front steps and we discussed the upcoming tug of war season. It was our 40th year of U.S. Atoa, and Rudy promised me that day that he would announce the 40th anniversary poll and announce the event he did. He kept us going for two straight days. He was exhausted, but he was not going to miss the celebration. To our dismay, a couple weeks later, Rudy announced his retirement. The voice of U.S. Atoa was no more. Rudy moved to Broadhead late last fall. We had our usual conversations about tug of war, and we discussed his retirement, and maybe he could do a guest appearance in Greeley, Iowa. And of course, I selfishly pushed for further goals to keep him involved with our sport. It was always a saying of his, "I'll see you in Greeley, kid." So it came out that way. Two of Rudy's boys, Marty and Tom, drove him to Greeley to see his people one more time. The other goals we discussed for the summer were not to be. Today we celebrate Rudy his way. Don't be sad Rudy's gone. Be glad you knew him. Thank you. Is Tom Naatz here? Tom, come on up.
That's a major surgery, so I'm moving a little slow and may sound a little weird. Hi, I'm Tom Naatz, a member of Rudy's Boys Tug of War team from 1975 to 2000. I'm going to tell you how Rudy inspired and touched my life through tug of war. But first I want to tell you a little story about Rudy. You know, Rudy always had a weird, different sense of humor. About 4 years ago, over in Monroe, I went over to watch the U.S. Tug of War National Championships, and Rudy was announcing the event, and at the end of the poll, they announced the recipient for the Rudy Kopp Memorial Award. After the poll, I asked Rudy, "Don't they usually give that award away to somebody that's passed away?" And Rudy laughed and said they couldn't wait any longer. Like I said, I joined Rudy's Boys in 1975. Two friends from my high school football team, Bob Simonson and Dennis Neal, asked me if I would like to join a tug-of-war team in Orphanville. It was called Rudy's Boys. I said, sure. Being 18, cocky, young, and love competition, I said, that can't be that hard. That was the first time I met Rudy, and my first thoughts of Rudy was, man, this man's old. This guy is old. After a couple of years, I pulled and realized Rudy was a determined and respectful man. And that was the first thing I learned from Rudy, was respect and to respect others. We were members of a Blackhawk tug-of-war league and always got our butts kicked from the likes of Ashton Tigers, Monroe Trucking, and Lodi. In 1977, Bob Holder introduced us to a Twift-style tug-of-war, a more constant style of pressure pulling. Rudy Kopp, Glenn Johnson, Dick Richardson, and others put together a team from the Blackhawk League to represent the United States in the Europe Closed competition in Dundalk, Ireland in 1978. From Rudy's Boys, there was Armin Meyer, Kevin Spike, Rudy Kopp, and I. But before that, Rudy had the bad farm accident and almost lost his life. Rudy was told that he would not be able to use his arm and hand after the surgery. Rudy, being the determined man he was, Rudy said, I will be back 1 year later and walk on my hands. Which he did. But that winter, after the accident, Rudy hired me to remodel his milk house and bring it up to code to install glass board on the walls and the ceiling. Every morning when I would go to his house, Rudy would be walking around with an 8-pound maul, moving it up and down all day long. He never quit. He did this all day long. And I said, wow, what determination. Rudy would say to me, I gotta keep going, I can't give up. Then that September, we went to Ireland to compete in the tug-of-war competition. We got our asses kicked, but learned a lot and had a great time. That night, Kevin Spike and I were walking down the hall of the hotel and we heard Rudy screaming. So we stopped to see what he was doing and what was wrong. Armin Meyer was helping Rudy stretch out his arm for therapy. And Rudy yelled at Armin for stopping, because Armin stopped when Rudy yelled. Rudy said, I will tell you when to stop. Rudy was a very persistent man to never give up. In 1981, I learned the greatest lesson of all from Rudy. Rudy's Boys was asked to put on an exhibition at the University of Iowa. We took a small 640 team. They brought us to the event in a beer truck and introduced us as the U.S. National Tug-of-War Champions. You can hear the crowd stirring and laughing, saying they're going to get their asses handed to them. They don't know what they're in for. First, we had to pull against a catchweight team from Iowa that outweighed us. A catchweight team from Iowa that had never been beat, and we won. Then we pulled against the defensive line and beat them. Last, we pulled against the offensive line that outweighed us 85 pounds a man, and we beat them. Then the crowd was amazed and cheered for us. But that's not the best part of the story. Afterwards, we were invited to an indoor pavilion to drink a few beers and socialize. Rudy, Armin, and I were at a station drinking beer when 3 or 4 offensive linemen came over to us, congratulated us, were very impressed, and they couldn't, and we could beat them. They were very impressed that we could beat them because of our size, and said there must be a lot of technique to the sport. And Rudy said, that's true, but it's also about using your minds correctly. And they didn't understand it. So Rudy asked Armin Meyer if he had any 60 penny nails in his truck. Armin said yes, went out to the vehicle and brought some 60 penny nails back with a pair of leather gloves. Rudy had arm and bend and 60 penny nails and did it with ease. The 300-pound lineman said, but Armin's got big biceps, he's got big pipes. So Rudy said, well, let me see if I can do it. So Rudy bent the spike over his legs, and the 300-pound lineman said, well, if you can do it, it should be easy for me. So Armin showed the young man how to place the nails in the leather glove in the hands, and the 300-pound lineman flexed his muscles and let out. There's a trick to this, because you can't tell me that you're stronger than me. And Rudy said to the man, it's simple. You have to be smarter than the nail. His friends had to remove him from the pavilion because he was so mad he wanted to beat up Rudy. That's when I realized what Rudy meant when he would tell us, pull out their minds and never give up. That your mind was the strongest muscle in your body. After that day, Rudy knew I was ready to learn. I could never bend a spike until that day. After that day, Rudy also taught me how to walk on my hands and how to juggle. But the best of all was to be a Rudy's Boys puller he could be proud of. From that day forth, Rudy pushed Rudy's boys and Rudy's girls to work harder than their opponents. Rudy didn't teach us how to pull rope or the techniques of pulling rope. Rudy taught us how to use the strongest part of our body, our minds. Rudy's boys and girls won over 60 national championships in 18 years. Rudy Kopp taught me respect, determination, and how to use the strongest part of my body, our mind. Thank you, Rudy. I am proud to say that I am a Rudy's boy.